The bank officer's hand slid a mortgage denial letter across the desk. Evelyn Hart, 28, stared at it, her homeownership dream dissolving in an instant.
This must be a mistake. My credit is flawless.
Before she could protest, her phone buzzed. The screen read, Gregory Walsh, Credit Union Fraud Department.
Hello?
Ma'am, did you take out 11 loans?
No, I've never applied for a single loan in my life.
Our records show 11 open loans in your name, totaling $96,400, originating over the past 7 years.
11 loans. 96,000. This has to be some kind of fraud.
I'm emailing you the full report right now, Ms. Hart. I think you need to sit down.
The email came through. 11 accounts, each flagged with yellow highlight, totaling 96,400 zakers. Not a single one was hers.
Mr. Walsh, these loans. They're really all under my name? 11 of them?
I'm afraid so. Every one of them has your social security number, your exact birth date, and they were all opened using the same IP address. That IP is tied to a residential location, a specific house, Ms. Hart. Do you recognize 1442 Maple Drive?
That's my parents' address. I grew up there.
Then you understand why I have to ask, has anyone in your family had access to your personal information?
Lucas lived at home until he was 23. The loans started right when he turned 18.
Ms. Hart, in over 60% of identity theft cases, the perpetrator is a relative. I don't say this to upset you, but we need to look there first.
No, not Lucas, not my parents. There has to be another explanation.
But the dates Gregory recited matched her brother's milestones: graduation, his first car, the month he was supposedly job hunting. The call ended, and she was left staring at an address that was also a wound. Someone in that house had been stealing her future for 7 years. Evelyn pulled up the full credit report on her laptop. The screens glow harsh in the dark apartment. She scrolled through the 11 loans, each dated with surgical precision, spanning 7 years.
The first loan was opened just weeks after my 21st birthday. I barely had a credit history.
She dialed her mother before her hands could stop shaking.
Mom, a fraud investigator just called. There are 11 loans on my credit from your house.
11? That doesn't sound right. Are you sure it's not a bank error, honey?
They all used my social security number, Mom. The IP address traces back to your desktop.
Oh, I'll look into it. Your father and I will sort it out. Just send me the details.
She didn't even ask who might have done this. She just deflected, like she already knew.
The call ended with hollow assurances. Evelyn grabbed her keys. She would drive to Maple Drive tonight. The porch light flickered on as Evelyn pulled into the driveway of 1442 Maple Drive.
Open the door, please. We need to talk.
Evelyn, what on earth? Come in.
In the living room, Mark rose from his armchair, his expression shifting from curiosity to wariness as Evelyn held up the printed credit report.
11 loans, Dad, from your desktop. Someone in this house has been ruining my credit for 7 years.
That's absurd. It's probably some kind of mistake. You know how banks are.
Donna stood frozen, her face pale, not meeting Evelyn's eyes.
The IP address matches your computer. There's no mistake.
Don't come here with accusations. We have real problems to deal with.
As Evelyn turned and walked out, she caught the glance her parents exchanged, a silent, loaded communication that confirmed everything. Back in her apartment, Evelyn called Gregory Walsh again.
Mr. Walsh, I just came from my parents. They know something.
I've matched the device fingerprints to a specific computer, a desktop with their home IP history. And there's another detail. The first loan was opened when you were 21. Your brother would have been 17.
17. Lucas couldn't have opened a loan alone. He'd need an adult co-signer.
Ms. Hart, given the evidence, Lucas is our primary suspect.
After the call, Evelyn sat at her laptop, searching through 7 years of old emails. And then she found it, A loan approval email from the summer she turned 21. Subject line: Welcome, Evelyn Hart.
I remember deleting this. I thought it was a scam because I'd never applied for a loan.
The email proved the fraud began with a loan she never authorized, and Lucas, at 17, hadn't acted alone. An hour later, Evelyn was back on Maple Drive, but this time she called Lucas and told him to get there. Now, he arrived with a smirk, leaning against the doorframe, as if this was just another family inconvenience.
I know about the loans, Lucas. 11 of them from this house, using my social.
What are you talking about? I didn't do anything.
Evelyn, please. It wasn't his fault. He just needed a little help. We let him borrow your credit just until he got back on his feet.
We were going to tell you. He's our son. What were we supposed to do?
Lucas said nothing. His smirk had vanished, replaced by a hollow stare at the floor.
7 years, 11 loans, $96,000. None of it repaid. Mom, you've been making minimum payments from your account, haven't you?
I had to keep it from going to collections. I was going to pay it all back, every penny.
Evelyn stood in the middle of her childhood home, but it felt like standing on ruins. Everyone she had trusted had built a lie with her name on it. Back in her apartment, the silence was heavy. Her phone cut through it. Gregory Walsh again.
Mr. Walsh, I just came from my parents. They admitted everything. What else could there possibly be?
I've been examining the oldest loans. For those originated when Lucas was 17, a cosigner or power of attorney would have been mandatory.
Power of attorney? I've never given anyone that kind of control, did I?
Then a memory surfaced. At 20, headed abroad, her parents had her sign a document just in case. She hadn't thought of it since. She searched her digital files, hands trembling as she typed. And there it was, a scanned power of attorney, witnessed by a family friend, bearing her real signature. A document she had never authorized for this.
Ms. Hart, if they used a POA to open those loans, this isn't just family borrowing. This is premeditated identity fraud.
They didn't just borrow my credit. They built a trap around my own signature.
The fraud had a blueprint, and it had been waiting in her own files for 8 years. She didn't call ahead. She drove straight to Maple Drive, the power of attorney burning in her passenger seat.
Open the door. It's about to get much worse.
They let her in, faces pale. She held up the notarized paper.
You used a power of attorney I signed at 20 to open loans for a 17-year-old. That's not borrowing. That's organized fraud.
It started with one loan. Lucas wanted a car. Our credit was ruined. I thought we could pay it back quietly.
We always intended to pay it off. You have to understand.
You made me dependent. You said you'd take care of everything. Now look at this mess. I'll get a job. I'll fix it. Just don't call the cops.
The room erupted. Donna sobbed that Lucas was ungrateful. Mark shouted blame. Lucas screamed they'd ruined him. Evelyn saw the truth. Her family was a closed loop of damage, and she was just the collateral. Days later, Gregory Walsh's number appeared again. His voice was heavier than before.
Ms. Hart, I found a loan opened while you were hospitalized with appendicitis. You were unconscious. The POA was active.
Appendicitis. I was under anesthesia. They used it when I couldn't know.
And a credit card application in your name from your parents' address, with a fake job title.
He sent the scan. Donna had written self-employed consultant for Evelyn, an accountant since college.
They even lied about my career. They planned it all.
The evidence was undeniable. Her family had committed felonies to finance Lucas's life.
I can't protect them anymore. Can you recommend a lawyer?
The next morning, Evelyn sat in a lawyer's office, a folder of evidence on the desk.
I want to file identity theft affidavits. I want my name back.
The lawyer studied the evidence and spoke quietly, each word measured.
If you pursue this, Lucas could face federal charges. Your parents could be charged with conspiracy. It's not just civil, it's criminal. Lucas in prison. Mom and Dad with felony records. This isn't just getting my name back.
The lawyer waited, letting the weight of it settle into the silence.
You have the right to pursue this, but it's your choice, Miss Hart. No one can make it for you.
Driving home, Evelyn's phone lit up with Donna's name, then Mark's. She let each one ring into voicemail.
They know I've talked to a lawyer. They're panicking.
At home, she took out the power of attorney, the signature mocking her.
If I file, I destroy them. If I don't, they get away with everything. How do I choose?
The choice pressed down on her in the quiet apartment, heavy as the debt they'd never paid. The phone on the counter buzzed again. Mark's name on the screen. She answered, bracing herself.
Dad.
You going to throw your family away over a few loans, Evelyn? Is that what you want?
This isn't about the money. It's about you and Mom stealing my identity for 7 years, then lying about it.
We were trying to help your brother. You've always been selfish.
Selfish? I've been living with ruined credit while you made minimum payments to cover your tracks.
Do what you have to do, but you'll be the one who ended this family.
The line clicked dead. In the silence, childhood memories rose, blurred but sharp as glass.
They borrowed my college fund for Lucas's car and never paid it back. The pattern was always there.
By morning, her resolve had hardened. She called Gregory Walsh and said she was ready to file the affidavits. That afternoon, a knock came at Evelyn's apartment. Donna stood in the hallway, clutching her purse, eyes red-rimmed.
I know I have no right to be here, but please, I'm begging you.
She held out a thick envelope, the paper worn from being handled too many times.
What's this?
$8,000 from our retirement account. We want to make this right.
She pulled out the cash, small denominations, carefully folded, a lifetime of saving laid bare.
That doesn't even cover the interest on a single loan, Mom. Not even close.
It's all we could scrape together. Please, take it and move on. Don't go to the police.
Evelyn pushed the envelope back across the counter, her hand steady. Donna collapsed into a chair, sobbing. The offer had been as empty as the promises before it. At the credit union, Evelyn sat across from Gregory Walsh, a stack of legal forms between them.
These are the affidavits, one for each loan. Once you sign, there's no going back.
No more protecting them. Just the truth, loud and legal.
He slid the first affidavit toward her. She picked up the pen, her grip steadying. Her signature moved across the pages once, twice, 11 times in all. Her hand shook, but she didn't stop.
The evidence is overwhelming. IP logs, the POA, the timeline. The lenders will clear your name.
They'll clear my name and bury my family in the same stroke.
Once these are processed, the lenders may refer the case for criminal investigation. The system will take over.
She signed the final page and set the pen down. Gregory gathered the stack and stamped each one with a heavy final thud. It was done. Evelyn Hart was now a plaintiff against her own family, her future severed from theirs forever. Weeks passed in a blur of waiting. A letter arrived from the mortgage company, thin and impersonal.
Your application remains on hold pending resolution of outstanding disputes. Still stuck.
Her phone rang. Gregory Walsh's name on the screen was a small comfort in the silence.
Good news, Ms. Hart. 3 lenders have issued provisional write-offs. They're investigating Lucas directly.
Provisional. Not final. But it's something.
One of them sent a formal apology letter. They admitted the fraud should have been caught sooner.
That night, she sat on her bed, the apology letter on her nightstand, but sleep wouldn't come.
Donna's sobs, Mark's anger, they circle in my head like a loop I can't break. I should feel vindicated. But all I feel is the weight of breaking my own family.
The lenders were moving, but the mortgage still hung out of reach, and so did any sense of peace. Evelyn returned to the lawyer's office with a thicker folder, her steps heavier than before. The civil complaint listed $52,000 in damages, legal fees, lost interest, the cost of a delayed life.
Every dollar is a reminder of the home I couldn't buy, the trust I lost.
She signed the complaint. The lawyer filed it electronically, and the court date was set. That evening, her phone erupted. Mark's name burned on the screen.
Hello.
You're suing us? Your own parents? How could you, Evelyn?
I'm holding you accountable. You and Mom for 7 years of fraud.
The call ended with Mark's final curse. Then a text from Lucas. You ruined my life. She didn't respond. The lawsuit was filed. The bridges were ash, and she had never felt more alone. The deposition room felt smaller than the courtroom ever would. Mark sat across from her, arm raised to swear in.
Fine. We used the power of attorney. We opened the loans, but it was for Lucas.
Donna sat beside him, tears cutting tracks through her makeup. She nodded silently when they asked if she approved the loans.
This isn't about money. It never was. It's about 7 years of my life they stole.
The judge accepted the testimony as overwhelming. The trial was swift, the ruling sharper than a blade. The judge called it a callous betrayal of trust spanning nearly a decade. Evelyn was awarded $52,000 in damages, every cent accountable to the wreckage they left.
I won. So why does this feel like a funeral?
Donna sobbed in the corridor, Mark walking ahead without a backward glance. Evelyn stood alone in the empty courtroom, the wood bench cold beneath her hands. Months later, Evelyn's phone rang with a familiar name, Gregory Walsh. Her heart didn't race anymore.
Mim's Hart, all 11 loans have been permanently removed. Your credit score is now 740.
7 years erased in a single update. I should be ecstatic.
The lenders are pursuing Lucas individually now. His wages are being garnished for the debts.
Gregory paused, then added something she hadn't expected.
He's also facing criminal charges in another state. Similar fraud, different victim. It seems you weren't the first.
Another victim. My brother was a serial predator, and I never knew.
She hung up, the silence of her apartment settling around her like a heavy coat. On her laptop, a clean credit report. 0 derogatory marks. A blank slate built on wreckage.
My name is clear, but the mortgage still hangs in the balance. I'm not celebrating yet.
With her credit cleared and lawsuit funds in hand, Evelyn returned to the bank, holding a new mortgage application.
This time, the numbers tell the truth. Not a single lie.
Approval came within a week. No derogatory marks. Her credit history was clean. At the closing table, she sat alone. No co-signer, no family, just her name on the deed. She signed each page steady, certain, the way you sign something you earned.
Mine. No Lucas. No Donna. No Mark. Just mine.
The title company agent slid a set of keys across the table, weightier than any loan document. She drove to the house, a small cottage with a porch. Inside, empty rooms filled with light.
I did this. Not them.
For the first time in a year, she let herself breathe. The house was quiet, and so was she. 1 month after closing, an envelope arrived with no return address. Evelyn recognized the handwriting instantly. It was from Lucas. I've learned my lesson. I need money to start over. You owe me that much.
Not a word of apology. Just another handout.
She walked to the kitchen sink, letter in hand, and took a match from the drawer. The flame caught the corner, curling the words into orange and black.
You stole my identity, my future, and now you ask for more. This is the last thing you'll ever take from me.
The ashes crumbled and fell into the drain, a thin black trail washing away. She turned on the faucet and rinsed the sink clean.
No more Lucas. No more debt. Just this house and the peace I built.
She didn't need a reply. The fire had said everything. 6 months after moving in, Evelyn stood on her porch, coffee in hand, watching the neighborhood stir. An elderly neighbor waved from her garden. Evelyn raised her hand, a small, real gesture. Inside, a framed credit report hung on the wall, 0 derogatory marks, a clean slate. It wasn't a trophy, but a reminder of the war she'd fought and the battlefield she'd left.
I survived what they did. That alone is enough.
Thanksgiving was a single plate, a small roasted chicken, and the quiet sound of her fork.
Alone wasn't lonely. Alone was safe. I finally understood the difference. This silence is a sanctuary. I prefer it over the hollow talk that waited on Maple Drive.
She stepped onto the porch as evening cooled, the swing creaking under her.
This life, small and quiet, is entirely my own. No stolen name, no debt, just this.
1 year after the closing, a Christmas card arrived addressed to Evelyn Hart at her old apartment. Someone had forwarded it. She opened it on the couch. A generic snowman card fell out, and inside a note in Donna's handwriting. Please call. We miss you.
They miss me? Or they miss the person who cleaned up their messes?
She set the card on the kitchen counter and stared at it, the same way she once stared at the denial letter.
That door is closed. I won't open it again. Not even a crack.
She picked it up, walked to the recycling bin, and let it drop without ceremony. That night, she poured a glass of wine and stood in the living room of her home.
To me. For surviving them.
She raised the glass toward the framed credit report on the wall, her silent testimony. The house was warm, the quiet was her own, and the past had finally stopped asking for a response. Spring morning. Evelyn stood in her open doorway, coffee steaming in her hand, the garden alive with color.
Ma'am, did you take out 11 loans?
The question that had shattered her world now hung in memory like a landmark, distant, harmless, a proof of survival.
I made it through all of it. The fraud, the lies, the lawsuit. I'm still here.
Where a Zold sign once stood, a welcome mat now rested. Daffodils bloomed along the walkway. The keys rested on a hook inside, the same keys she had gripped alone at the closing table.
The loans are gone. I'm not.
She stepped inside and pulled the door closed, the latch clicking clean as a final word. Outside, the morning sun caught the garden, and the neighborhood stirred with ordinary life. Inside, Evelyn Hart stood in the living room, faint light through the blinds, the walls holding no ghosts.